Earlier this year, I posted a video about a recent shift in U.S. government policy. Leaks to the media forced the government to admit UFOs existed, but now call them UAPs, unexplained aerial phenomena. Experienced military pilots provided very detailed reports. High-level former American officials confirm that UFOs are real and state most proof remains classified. I thought my subscribers would find this of interest, but was shocked that many were furious I even mentioned this. They exhibited a religious rejection of heresy for even showing such information, which I attribute to a lifelong propaganda that UFO talk is crazy. The Pentagon debunks 98% of submitted UFO sightings, but some they can't. Some UFO reports include unexplained video, radar, and infrared recordings from different platforms about the exact same incident. Most Americans agree that with the millions of planets in our universe, many contain life. But if you suggest that some life forms are thousands of years ahead of ours and extraterrestrials covertly visit Earth, they say that's insane, despite massive evidence, like this 2013 video leaked from the U.S. Coast Guard in Puerto Rico, where a UFO dipped in the ocean a couple times. Most people believe that a mysterious God in the sky has great powers and we can communicate with him via prayer. If you explain this matches the idea that extraterrestrials exist on Earth and are said to communicate with telepathy, they become furious. Some claim lengthy space travel is impossible, as though we know everything already. Just 140 years ago, experts said man could never fly aboard aircraft. Where will we be in the year 3000? Where were we in 1952?
The United States Air Force, in discharging its responsibility for the aerospace defense of the nation, is called upon to investigate reports of unidentified flying objects. Two Air Force officers have over the years been very closely associated with this activity. Lieutenant Colonel Lawrence Stacker was formerly the chief spokesman for the Air Force on the matter, and Major Hector Quintanilla is now the chief of Project Blue Book. Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
The objectives of the program are twofold. They're the same as they have been since 1953 when the regulations were given. First of all, to try to determine if the UFO phenomena presents a threat to the security of the United States. And second, to determine if the UFO phenomena exhibits any technological advances which could be channeled into research and development.
What's the record so far?
To date, we have over 10,000 cases at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, of which 646 of these remain unidentified. That's not to say that we could not have identified more cases if we had gotten to the observer quickly and checked the local activity.
The Air Force has been accused from time to time of hiding information about UFO. What do you have to say to that, Colonel Phillip?
Well, these charges are absolutely untrue. Actually, the United States Air Force releases statistics on the UFO phenomena through the Department of Defense press desk periodically, and we've always honored accredited media when they want to investigate a given specific sighting.
There's nothing to hide.
There's nothing to hide at all.
Is there anything?
That video is from the United States National Archives and is linked in the description. You'll notice other UFO videos there, as the U.S. government was once open and honest about UFO encounters. The U.S. Air Force compiled its growing number of UFO reports into an office called Project Blue Book. The number of reports grew rapidly in the late 1940s and alarmed political leaders and the American CIA. Perhaps the testing of ever larger nuclear weapons resulted in more visits by extraterrestrials. As a result, a team of America's top scientific experts met in January 1953, known as the Robertson Panel. They agreed that some UFOs were unexplainable and were causing concern among Americans. They endorsed the CIA's plan to keep such information secret and concoct earthly explanations when needed. The panel agreed that persons who openly discuss UFOs must be demeaned and ridiculed. In February 1953, the U.S. Air Force issued Regulation 200-2, ordering airbase officers to publicly discuss UFO incidents only if they had been solved, and to classify unsolved cases secret to keep them out of the public eye. The effort at UFO disclosure gained momentum in 1997 with the publication of a book by Colonel Phillip Corso called The Day After Roswell. Corso was an Army intelligence officer who served 21 years in the U.S. Army, then many more years as a staff member in the U.S. Senate. Colonel Corso personally saw deceased extraterrestrials from the 1947 Roswell crash and a UFO craft at an airbase. He had also seen UFOs travel at 4,000 miles an hour on radar. When assigned to Army research, Colonel Corso was given fragments of extraterrestrial technologies from various crashes, and his job was to share these with American high-tech companies, telling them they were from earthly foreign sources. Corso said this resulted in integrated circuits, fiber optics, and lasers. His book got great reviews, but he was targeted as a nut, evidenced by his Wikipedia entry that calls his book a hoax. I linked 2 of his old interviews in the description. Books have been published about Nevada's secret Area 51 test and development base in the remote desert, where Lockheed's Skunk Works team develops advanced technology. Several books mention the presence of alien craft and even live aliens at Area 51. This explains the remarkable SR-71 aircraft developed at Lockheed Skunk Works for the U.S. Air Force in the early 1960s. It had advanced technology generations ahead, allowing it to fly up to Mach 3.5. Amazingly, it was designed, tested, and deployed within 3 years, and all of its new experimental technology and materials work perfectly. Some credit this phenomenal achievement to help from aliens at Area 51. Another interview to watch is from 1987 with John Lear, son of the famous designer of the Lear jet. It is linked in the description. Lear had flown dozens of different types of aircraft, thousands of hours. He encountered a UFO one day and began to ask other experienced pilots if they had too. He was shocked to learn that many had encountered UFOs. Lear began to research this issue and was stunned by the amount of evidence he found. He said most extraterrestrials are dangerous because they are not on Earth to help humans. That may sound odd, but when humans go deep in the woods, do animals consider us friendly? John Lear didn't have access to the internet back then, but hundreds of excellent videos can now be seen by anyone, like Out of the Blue, that I linked in the description. Another video to watch features prominent Professor Alexander Wendt. This was a TED Talk where he stated that most professors quietly admit that UFOs exist, but fear discussing this issue. Ironically, while TED Talks proclaims that it promotes open discussion, its moderator flagged his talk as not credible. Watch it linked in the description, and read the comments where people are stunned that TED labeled his talk as speculation. Luckily, a few American congressmen have renewed interest in this topic.
A new Capitol Hill hearing putting the government's handling of unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, under the microscope yet again. Lawmakers recently heard from military veterans, whistleblowers, and oversight experts, all warning that secrecy and retaliation have undermined public trust. At the center of all of it, people describing bizarre encounters with objects that outperformed any known aircraft.
Someone would see a light. They would pay attention to the light. And then the object responds, it performs for you. And then they come down and they investigate you. So it's almost like they're curious.
The craft itself was this black metallic flake paint, but on top of the craft was this gold, lava, plasma, some type of fluid going over and around the craft.
And for the first time, lawmakers screened video of a high-speed orb. You can see it at the center of your screen. This was captured almost a year ago off the coast of Yemen. And almost unbelievably, the UAP is hit by a Hellfire missile, but the unknown object is somehow able to keep going.